so make sure to stick around.
É que assim, ó, não vem a borrachinha pra todo mundo, não vem rolinho, tá? Só dentro?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. U.S. Soccer and Nike welcome you to Premier Sports Campus for Match Day 2 of the 2019 Nike International Friendlies. Today's second match features the Under-20 national team of Brazil taking on the blue Under-20 national team of the United States. And now, U.S. Soccer and Nike present Brazil versus the United States.
Breezy night at the Premier Sports Campus in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, where the United States is set to face off against Brazil in the Under-20 Women's Nike International Friendlies. I'm your host, Mark Servant. It is a pleasure to be with you as we are getting set for kickoff, and I am joined by former goalkeeper Mike Pepper. And Mike, we got to see Brazil play against France, but this is our first time taking a look at what has been dubbed the USA Blue Team.
Yeah, and the USA Blue Team is certainly, they're excited. You saw them in the warm-ups that they are ready to get out here. It's been a long week of training camp. We saw the USA Red in the earlier matchup today. A big camp, but a big chance here for them tonight to come out against a Brazil team that still is lacking a couple of their players, but they showed a little bit of spunk against a France team and their 1-0 deficit or loss on Monday night.
Yeah, certainly they hit the crossbar on a free kick. Very easily could have walked away with a share of the spoils in that one. For Mark Carr, he really believes that this side can attack against a Brazil team that, quite frankly, we were very surprised at their collective defending against France, as we will pause now and listen to a playing of the Brazilian and American national anthems. Well, it may only be a friendly, but so much is on the line tonight for these ladies. For those in the red, white, and blue, they are fighting for the last few roster spots that are available for the CONCACAF Championship coming up in February. And for those in the famous yellow and green jerseys, they are fighting for those last roster spots for the South American Championships, which is coming up in March. So plenty to play for here as we take a look at the starting lineups. And first, for Brazil, Nicoli keeps her place in goal. Vitória Reis looks to get down the line. And the one change that we'll see here from this Brazilian team is Vitória Yaya is dropping from her forward line into the center of midfield because her passing was so good in the match against France.
Yeah, she was so dangerous up top, and yet, you know, a matter of they want to probably try and keep the ball going against the United States team tonight, so they will try to get those skills into the midfield.
And for the USA, it's a very UVA-heavy lineup with 4 UVA players in the mix, including Spanstra, who is the most experienced player on this side, winning her 12th cap at the U20 level tonight. But plenty of players on this team, Mike, who have played in Youth World Cups.
Oh, absolutely. You know, those Mid-Atlantic schools in Virginia and amongst those, but very talented, very good always. And the nice part about it is you get that little core that's going to be, they know what they're going to be doing. Not only getting here in camp, getting a chance, but in those other opportunities around up with their school.
A good look at the referees for this evening. Samantha Martinez will be the woman in the middle. She'll be assisted by Tiffany Turpin on the near side, Emily Fletcher on the far, and the 4th official in between the benches is Alyssa Nichols.
Mark, I was going to say, I mean, you talked on it right there, but just significant difference between our first hour when we had the earlier games at 3:30 when it was hot. We needed the water break. This cold front moved through. Not that it's cold. I mean, anyone who's watching around the country.
It's Florida cold. It's Southern California cold.
We see people putting jackets on right now where we are at 83 degrees at kickoff for the earlier game, but it's probably going to be about 70. But the significant part is this wind at the back of what appears to be going to be Brazil for the first half is going to be quite a bit of a factor, I think, for both of these teams.
The USA breaking out of their huddle. The Seleção getting into theirs. Just a few changes made from the side that lost 1-0 against France. In comes Melina and Duda. This is a Brazil side. 8-time U20 South American champions. Well, Julia Dole sat on the bench at the U17 World Cup, and when she came into camp, she said to Mark Carr, I'm not just fighting for a spot, I want that #1 jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's up for grabs too. Come in and just show that leadership that is so often required by the goalkeeper. You see that the role we talked about in the earlier game, it's expanded. You got to be better throughout, but you still have to command that box and your back line.
It's Summer Yates who's over the ball. 2 caps at the U20 level with a goal to her name as well. And she will get us underway. USA versus Brazil in the women's U20 Nike International Friendlies. The second times these two teams have faced off in this tournament after Brazil were here in 2017. And the USA will begin the CONCACAF Championships February 15th. Against Cuba and the Dominican Republic, as they're in a little bit of trouble here. Dole came out and dealt with it.
Did they get a handball?
It looks like it was a handball as well. Meanwhile, Brazil will kick off the U20 South American Championships on March 4th in Argentina. They have won all 8 versions of that tournament. So they have been to the U20 World Cup 8 times. The USA 3-time winners are looking to go to their 10th tournament in all 10 editions that have been played, as it's going to be a throw-in for Brazil on the near side. And it's Vitória Reis who will take it. Angelina, wearing the captain's armband, gets it in. And she'll clip it toward the far post, where Dole will come out.
You know, talking with Mark Carr earlier before both games, and really he was really excited about getting this group of young ladies out here to get an opportunity to perform in front of the crowd in this game, in this atmosphere. Thinking it's a great opportunity for them to show what they got.
And one of the things I love about the Nike International Friendlies is that it's in conjunction with the inaugural Girls Development Academy Cup. So many players who've had games today can come here tonight and see what it's going to take to make it to that next level.
Yeah, it's a
the
good
USA
chance.
looking to fashion their first real attack of the game. The ball's played inside for Nice Wonger. was able to evade one challenge. Tried to get in looking for Spanstra, but Brazil able to get it clear. This one skipping over Stouty, and there's a Brazilian player down on the far side as the ball comes back to Dole.
I think that's Maria Eduardo.
So a stoppage in play.
Seems to be holding the lower back, Dole. Mark.
Yeah, I hope that she's okay as the training staff comes out early to take a look at Melina, who plays her club ball for Avi.
Oh, I was wrong. Yeah, you're right. It's Melina. I thought that was number 10 out there.
A good look at Rebecca Jarrett, a very speedy forward. So Melina being checked on, the USA using this as an opportunity to get into a huddle. Also a chance to just settle themselves down. You kind of know nerves are running high. Another person that they're very aware is in the stands is Vlatko Andonovski, the new U.S. women's national team coach, who's here conducting an ID camp for the senior side.
Sure.
And so they're looking to impress him as well, as Melina looks to be okay standing at the center waiting for the referee's permission to come on, as Dole will take the uncontested drop ball. Fourth minute. Spanstra. She'll pop it out wide for Jarrett. Jarrett skips past Victoria Heish, who did well to recover. Duda. One back by the U.S. Wheeler, she's dispossessed. And here comes the high press from the U.S. as they look to squeeze. Brazil able to deal with it for the moment as they find the outlet ball to the far side. This is Victoria Yaya. Floats it out to the near side for Jacqueline. Jacqueline was very impressive against France, not only on the ball with her movement off it. So that's a good tackle from Holmes. You can see she's wearing that big knee brace as she's coming back from a knee injury from which she missed considerable time. So Mark Carr said that he's very happy to have her back for selection.
That would be great, you know, if she can go out and get a half hour to maybe a half or anything just to kind of get that activity. That is a bulky brace, but she is still getting down there, and that was a good tackle and that chance to put it out wide.
Well, it's been a good comeback for her. 14 games played at the University of Washington this season, culminating in this camp. Had to redshirt her freshman season because of that injury. And this is the Colorado native, Shea Holmes, with the throw-in. She will get it back for Scrotenbohr.
You mentioned the College Cup, or the College with Washington, and there's a little pressure high here. But the opportunity, because of the College Cup, with some of the players not coming into camp, gives a few extras a little more playing time than what they may have received had the case not been of the College Cup just finishing this last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Carr said there were about 11 or 12 players that he would have called up. But after the College Cup, he told those coaches, he said, I know how exhausted they are and that they're still coming down from the emotions of that Final Four, so he wasn't going to call them up and give them a deserved break, especially because they're still going to have 2 more camps before they do make their way to the Dominican Republic midway through February.
And the critical thing about with soccer is that they have finals. While they're taking their NCAA championship week, you still have to commit to the education that you're committing for the school.
Lauren. Camila. Is trying to shake off Niswanger, who does well to force the ball back for Nicoli. And this is Lauren.
I like that when one player's in space and forces the defender or whoever it is to go backwards, because that makes the rest of your team just be able to recover for just a second. If that ball goes forward, they're having to work a little harder.
Well, a heavy collision, and the referee will call for the foul on Scrotenbohr. And Scrotenbohr has had a really big year. She led Midwest United to the U18-19 Development Academy Championship and won the Golden Ball. Completed her freshman season at Michigan State, as well as working her way into this U20 side. A really, really strong shutdown center defender. Was just beaten to the ball on that occasion. It's good pressing by the U.S. once again. Brazil able to play through it. Victoria Yaya loses out. Oh, an excellent target play and a very smart ball. Jarrett motoring forward. Can't get there before Victoria Reis, who spins away. And now it's Jacqueline's turn to saunter up the flank, but she can't catch up to it in time. So it'll be a throw-in for the USA in the 8th minute.
Yeah, a little factor. Again, I think that wind had something to do with that. I know it's on the ground, but he gets that roll behind it. And that is a significant, I'd say about a 15 to 20 mile per hour wind here at the back of Brazil right now.
Good work by Yates to win the free kick for the U.S. Niswanger takes it quickly. And there's that wind you're talking about, Mike.
Anytime the flag's at full extension there, that's significant.
Stouty. Dole. Stouty. Now it's Brazil's turn to try and press. U.S. play out of it. Jarrett trying to shield. And this one went off of Victoria Reis last in the referee's point of view. Referee Samantha Martinez just coming over and telling Victoria Reis to calm down. As we saw against France, though, she loves to go into tackles full throttle. Poked away from Yates. Jarrett. Holmes. Beautifully weighted ball down the line for Jarrett. Working one-on-one against Lauren. Fizzes it across. And Brazil's back line able to get it clear.
You know, Mark, you talked about the iconic uniforms of the yellow and green with the blue, and just how Brazil, anytime you talk international soccer, that's great. I got to tell you, the more and more I see, and I know this is not the traditional color, but this white uniform with the blue and the red and blue, one of my favorites for sure.
Jarrett takes the inside route. Jacqueline brings her down from behind. Ref says play on. Niswanger tried to nip in. Victoria Yaya. Jacqueline. And she was stopped by Holmes in her tracks. Illegally, says the referee, so it'll be a free kick for Brazil. Well, if Victoria Yaya gets the ball in the center of the park, the U.S. must step to her right away because she has the ability to pick apart a back line.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's why head coach Jonas Orias dos Santos dropped her into midfield, because she was the one playing those balls, but by one of the two forwards coming back in their 4-4-2, she usually only had one target to pick out. So the deflection took the sting out of the cross, and Holmes smacks it clear. Ooh, a heavy challenge on Summer Yates, who managed to win that ball.
Both girls took a shot to the head. They're holding it, but
kind of surprised the referee didn't stop play there, because Yates for a second looked a little bit wobbly.
I am as well. Not just that, but I think that Camila had done a little bit too. They're both still kind of feeling where they were, but yeah, certainly Summer Yates. Want to keep an eye on her for now.
A nifty bit of skill from Jacqueline. Tries to send it in. Intercepted by Niswanger. And the U.S. concede possession in the back. Duda gets it out wide. Space at the top of the box, but the shot rolled in on Dole. Still, though, a warning shot from Brazil. And I love this from Dole, holding the ball for the 6 seconds and making sure that she has a word with her back line. correct whatever she's seeing there so that it doesn't happen again as the U.S. try and play out under high pressure from Brazil. Into the middle for Neiswanger, has been ever present in these first few minutes. Room for Holmes to venture. Was looking for the run up top. So this one comes back for Camila. Correction, Jacqueline. Duda bought it down, but Skrotenborg steps up to win it. Neiswanger wins it off for Spanstra. She has her pocket picked by Vitória Yaya. And now Brazil will look to work around the back. Nervous moments for them, but it's swept clear by Nicoli. That ball played back dangerous to Nicoli, but she was able to get it away. U.S., though, do have a throw in the deepest part of the field. As this one pumped in, it's over the head of Jarrett. And this will roll all the way out for a throw-in. So 13-plus minutes in here, Mike. What have you seen from the two sides?
Well, I think that what we've seen is that the U.S. has still had to settle down just a little bit. That last little bit, they are starting to get a couple of opportunities. Their pressure's been pretty good. For Brazil, what we've seen is really, I think both teams still filling out a little bit. However, they've had a little bit better in possession for just a moment, but the U.S. has really defended it well.
Speaking of defending well, it's one back. Spanstra trying to play it across, and she'll win the first corner kick of the game for the Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, and it's going to be a great, those defensive third turnovers just really seem to be echoing over and over by a lot of teams. They try and go in there, and that's a lot because of that high pressure, and we saw the United States force that turnover there.
Good look at the U.S. bench. Jarrett right on Nicoli. 4 players crowded around, ready to break their runs out of the scrum at the top of the penalty box. Yates comes in short, played over her, looking for the player at the near post, and it'll be take 2 for the U.S. Well, I always say about corners, Mike, unless you are looking for a flick on at the near post, that ball needs to beat that first defender.
Absolutely has to, and in that case, as it was dropped in, just the defender able to be right behind it. You like the fact that if it gets past that first post, any deflection could go on target. You never know.
So this will be an in-swinger from the near side. This one driven in. Neiswanger quickest to it. Shot takes a deflection, and Nicoli gets there first.
Well, I like that opportunity where that rebound came out. Neiswanger was in good position. I would have maybe thought first time bring it right back either across or go on target. One of those bodies were there. You never know what happens.
Rodman battling on the far side, but Brazil come away with it. How about that for a piece of tracking back? Stouty. He's looking over to the far side. It's Brazil looking for Martha. She'll leave it off for Molina. Well, she hammered that one. The USA were aware. And now Brazil have all 10 outfield players inside the U.S. half as the long ball headed away. Oh, how about that? From Vitória, and Duda skews her shot wide.
It's a great individual skill for sure by Yaya.
It was Jacqueline who had the hit. We'll see her drifting inside. Not a bad effort from her. Jarrett has been threatening down this near side in the early going. So we're in the 17th minute. And the first match for USA Blue at these U20 Nike Women's International Friendlies. Stouty assessing her options. Holmes. Back to Stouty. Marta, she let it run, but nobody was making the diagonal in behind. Shea Holmes. Pass picked off by Victoria Yaya. Quickly into the center. And the long effort, a bit ambitious. Certainly nothing to concern Dole in the end.
Yeah, and I think the big part is, if that comes around, is she's running away from the goal there. I mean, if you're going to take those type of strikes, you don't want to be running away and trying to cut it back behind you. I think what you're seeing now is that Brazil is looking at that wind behind them, because that long distance shot will get in much faster on the goalkeeper, and you would have to see that Dole will have to be way ready for that, because Brazil may take a couple more chances.
Scrutenborg gets it back to Dole, who clears. Duda leaves it on for Victoria Yaya. She looks to thread it through. Dole off her line to quell the danger. Victoria Yaya pretty much at the fore of every single Brazilian attack. And that pass took a deflection as we take a look at this opportunity again. And lovely little layoff from Duda. And Victoria Yaya with the reverse ball. But Dole beat Duda to the punch. Brazil still on the attack, though, via the throw-in. Camila. Jarrett intercepts. The counterattack could be on here. Jarrett skips by Camila. Lauren confronts her. Jarrett slides by her. And in the end, crowded out. And Nicoli comes off her line.
Good work by Jarrett, but there was just no help really to go. She had to try and slow it up, and by the time the cavalry arrived, she found 3 or 4 players surrounding her.
Victoria Yaya with space to run. Has 4 players pouring forward. Sprayed over to the far side where it's headed away by Mason. Wheeler was looking for Jarrett, but played it behind her, and it will be a throw-in for Brazil in the 20th minute. Match day 1 for this USA blue side. USA red fell 2-0 to France in today's earlier match. So France now with 2 wins after beating Brazil 1-0 on the first night of the U20 Women's Nike International Friendlies. As Spanstra was unable to smuggle that one through. Victoria Yaya drills it over to the far side. And cleared by Scrutenborg.
That's brilliant vision by Yaya, but even more so is that driven ball. When you can quickly switch that field like she did there, that puts the defense under pressure. But the U.S. able to get it cleared out before it crossed that back line for them.
Victoria Yaya reminds me of Fabinha with her range of passing. Good job by the U.S. to hunt in packs and win that back as Spanstra rolls it along for Jarrett. She looks to take on Camila. And Camila matched her step for step. Wheeler wins the first header, Duda the second. Punch forward by Stouty.
That's going to hold in with the win, but the U.S. will opt not to put him under pressure in the corner.
Define rápido antes que chegue a marcação. Define rápido. Cuidado, cuidado.
So now it's Brazil's turn to see if they can pass their way out of the back. So here comes the pressure from the U.S.
Fecha, fecha, Vitória, fecha, Vitória. Estamos sem bola.
And will be a throw-in for Brazil, but the U.S. keep the ball in their offensive end. Holmes able to get it away from Jacqueline. Well, Yates almost nipped in to take that one away. Angelina will get it back for Lauren. That's a beautifully measured pass, just skip past the run of Jacqueline.
Second ball on the field. Mark Carr, some instructions there.
Good look at Spanstra. And there's the senior national team in attendance as they watch Rodman trying to chase this one down, but instead it's Camila who will bring it forward for Brazil. Long searching ball over to the far side. Mason doing the defending for the U.S. and sticks to her task dutifully.
Nice job there by Mason in the corner.
It's been a good battle between her and Melina so far on that far side. Mason winning that round. There'll be another thrown for Brazil.
It's always the job of that winger out there. When you get there and you're one-on-one with the defender, you got to beat him. And then same thing, obviously, the defender. Can't tell you how many times they say, go around him, that's your thing. You've got people inside.
Giselli wins the throw-in. The space is opened up here. Rodman is in. What a save from Nicoli. Oh, Rodman had sped past all comers, and she caught it well, but Nicoli equal to the task for Brazil.
That was a fantastic run by Rodman. I think that when it came down to it, she may want to do it again. She struck it well, struck it hard on target, but that seemed to be one where Nicoli was giving her the far post, and it's something with so much room, but this run was outstanding. The ball perfectly weighted in there as well, Mark.
Beautiful pass from Niswanger to set up the third corner kick of the game for the U.S. as this shot coming in, and still had to have a strong hand to push that one over the crossbar. So this time it's driven to the far post. Bodies clash in the box, and the referee is going to say it's a foul on the U.S.
And it did appear the Brazil player went over the U.S. player, but the U.S. player was also kind of stumbling into her, so. Oh, here is again there.
Look at that first touch, too, to put that into her path.
Fantastic run. I've just seen Nicoli's cheating test. Look at that. She's over the near post. I think that if she just side foots it into the far post, again, off the left foot, that's not an easy task, but it's certainly something that, with that phenomenal run, probably a better finish would have done better.
Trinity Rodman was a member of the U17 World Cup squad, getting her first U20 cap this evening. Almost marked it with a goal. The crossing from Holmes is a good one. Only as far as Jared at the top of the box, but the snapshot rolls wide.
And mentioning that with Trinity Rodman, that won't be the last time we see that. You go in there from 50 yards out like that, we will see that again. Maybe not tonight, but she'll have plenty of opportunity.
Well, Nicoli with a very big save to keep this game at 0-0 as we're in the 27th minute. After tonight, both of these teams will have a day off before reconvening on Friday, as Brazil will take on USA Red at 3:30, and then this USA Blue side will face off against France at 6:30 to close out the 2019 Under-20 Nike Women's International Friendlies. This will be the first corner kick of the game for Brazil.
to finish your thought on that Friday action, I just suggest if anyone is here in the Florida area, not just the Lakewood Ranch or Bradenton or even the Tampa St. Pete, but if you're in Florida, great chance to see these stars of the future.
So this will be an in-swinger from the far side from Angelina. The Santos midfielder wearing the captain's armband. She's going to play this one to the top of the box. USA need to get out quickly. What a goal that is for Brazil. Straight from the training ground, perfectly executed.
It was Jacqueline who...
I'm not surprised.
Not at all. That was there. You saw the near post run come out towards the corner, kind of sucking down the defender, and it was played to Jacqueline, who, what a fantastic first touch, and able to half volley it home for a goal.
So Jacqueline in the 28th minute gives Brazil the lead. It's their first goal of these Nike International Friendlies. And take a look. She's looking like she's going to cross in at the last second, plays it to the top.
They knew what they were doing on that one. We saw the eye diversion, kind of the Pat Mahomes look like that. That's getting so much love in the NFL, but you can see this as they do it. And what that does, it sucks the defender down just for that half second, and that first touch was phenomenal.
What a volley, too. The technique with the outside of the boot. Jacqueline, who plays her club ball for Sao Paulo, gives Brazil the 1-0 lead. What will the response be from the U.S.? This is Angelina, who gets it in for Victoria Yaya. Out wide for Melina. She fizzes it across. As Jacqueline, who continues her run. She goes down, and this one blazed over. Well, she's everywhere.
Yeah, and that, you saw just the special play set up for that, and I don't think you run it any better at practice at all. The way they set that up, it was, as they practice, it probably hasn't worked that perfectly at all for them. But it was a great ball to her, and even better touch for her, and a better volley finish for that.
Stouty. It's a nice first touch inside from Spanstra. Another Brazilian player is down, but play goes on. And a shot from Duda well wide. So play will stop. It's the Brazilian training staff waiting to be called on by the referee. Now Samantha Martinez calls her on, and it's a chance for the U.S. to come over and collect their thoughts and get some instruction from Mark Carr, as it's Angelina who's struggling. You hope that she's okay, because she really is the engine room with that Brazilian midfield. Yeah,
giving her the captain's armband today. She's kind of pointing a little bit to that, although it is good to see her sitting up. I think maybe just had the wind or something knocked out of her for a moment. She was in on that tackle that came off, so able to walk off, and maybe just needing a break as we cross over that half hour.
Oh, Jacqueline with the goal in the 28th minute, and it was a beauty. Perfect technique on the volley with the outside of her foot. Absolutely nothing Dole could do in the USA goal as Brazil get off the mark in the Nike International Friendlies. And Mike, what does this USA side have to do if they're going to get the leveler before the break?
Well, I mean, just regain their composure. Make sure they don't turn one goal, one great play against you into another. That half volley coming off there, because we talk about just 2-3 minutes before that, we had the run that the U.S. should have taken the lead. And in that case, maybe that changes it up. So you cannot let one phenomenal finish just beat you a second time. So you've just got to regain that composure.
So we'll roll out of bounds before Rodman can get to it on the far side.
So many times that momentum can carry over, but we've already gone past that first 3-4 minutes now after that goal, so it seems to be that initial thing is passed. So it's a good opportunity here if they can get a couple chances for themselves now.
Wheeler pops it out wide for Holmes. Up the line. Oh, Rodman did well just to bring that under control. Yaya spins. Victoria Reis gets it inside. Oh, and almost the loose ball back. Yates still chasing, gets on the end of it. He's trying to feed Jarrett, but it's swept clear. And it'll be a throw-in for the U.S. Some more shaky play from Brazil in the back. That's something the U.S. looking to capitalize on.
Yeah, and that's it. You just continue that pressure and see if something will actually develop into it for you.
Yates doing the defending from the front as this ball comes into the feet of Nicoli. And that's going to be a foul on Holmes. No surprise there. She brings down Melina. Spanstra.
Couldn't get on that right foot there, or the correct foot. As boy, Rodman had a little bit of space. May have seen another repeat of that.
Holmes was looking for Wheeler. She's dispossessed. Victoria Yaya. Holmes provides the double team, and she'll usher this one out of bounds for a U.S. throw-in. Spanstra is trying to find Wheeler. Marta leaves it off for Duda at the top of the box. There's a runner on the far side. So close to being 2-0. Brazil really closing the game down, winning the ball high up the pitch, and almost making the USA pay as Jacqueline so close to her brace.
Yeah, almost the same exact spot that she had that first goal from, but obviously this one off facing a little bit sideways, trying to curl that one as opposed to power it like the previous one.
Stouty. She's closed down. Holmes. And Victoria Yaya with the foul on Spanstra. Inside the final 10 minutes of the first half. Marta chasing this ball down, but Dole able to get it out wide for Scrotenboer. And take a look at this opportunity. Lovely first touch with the right, or the left rather, to set herself up on the right. Dole relieved to see it flash wide of her goal in the end, as Rodman wins the throw-in for the U.S.
You know it's always close when you see the shadow of the ball across the goalpost.
This will be another throw-in for Holmes, the 2017 Colorado Gatorade Player of the Year. Will get this one inside. Flicked on for Yates. She'll help it along for Rodman. Rodman steps inside 1-2, wriggles past the third. But Brazil shut the door. Duda. Niswanger giving chase. Victoria. Melina. Oh, nothing you're doing, says the referee. Looks like she was kind of leaning into that challenge a bit.
She was looking
waiting for that contact, yeah.
I think the referee recognized that.
Nice ball set in by Victoria Reis, and they sneak it in at the near post. Brazil lead 2-0. Marta with the finish. It all started with that woman, the outside back, Victoria Reis. Frustration for Dole, as Marta was able to squeeze it in with power at the near post.
Yeah, I don't know if that was going in. We'll see another look at the replay here, Mark, but that turn right there in itself and that run, you can see, maybe she made it offside a bit, but a hard angle, and you can see outside her post, but pushing it up into the top of the net was Dole.
I just love this. Once again, you see the use of the outside of the boot from Brazil. And then one touch with her left to set herself on the right and roof it into the net. The U.S. crowded out again. Spanstra, Victoria Yaya steps in front of her. Victoria Reis able to keep it in, but she knocked it off of Melina. So it'll be a throw-in for the U.S. Spanstra can't get by Victoria Yaya. Inside for Jacqueline. Victoria Yaya clips it over the top. This one too far, and Dole will let it roll out for a goal kick.
Well, Mark, the two opportunities, really, Brazil's had those two. It's not like it's been a change of play, but the two that they've been able to put on net, they both have gone in, and that's what you just want to make sure. And you look at here the first half, obviously there's a win going into it. Don't know how much of a factor it was, but it is something that will tire out a little bit more, so maybe we'll see, but Brazil's going to try and keep pouring it on here.
Top of the box, looking for Angelina. The U.S. able to get it away. That took a deflection, so it'll be a throw-in. Holmes coming over to take. It was really interesting what Jonas Urias dos Santos said about the opportunity to play against two USA teams. He said, it'll be great because we can figure a lot out about the USA and how they play and their game plan, because we will get to see both teams will have a chance to really learn about and understand their patterns of play.
Yeah, very laudatory and praise the U.S. system, and so, because U.S. is the national women's team champion. You know, obviously the talent throughout the youth ranks always up there towards the top, so it's a good barometer for him to figure out where his young ladies are as they head into these friendlies.
Victoria Yaya, Victoria Reis. No handball, says the referee, as Rodman fights her way out of trouble. Over the top for Yates to chase. That one got caught up in the wind, and Camilla dealt with it really well.
Yeah, really changed her jump, changed the timing of her jump.
Victoria Yaya, over the top for Melina. She's working against Stouty. Holmes fighting to get back. She provides the double team. And in the end, shielded out of bounds by Melina for the corner kick. It was great work, though, by Holmes to get back and help out Stouty.
Yeah, absolutely. One of those played over the top. It was well defended by both, this covering back and then again the recovery itself.
Well, the wind really whipping around here. Second corner kick for Brazil and Angelina. We saw what they did with the first one. This one a bit more traditional, but it doesn't beat the defender at the near post. Jarrett flying forward. Ran into a mass of yellow and green jerseys. Jarrett gets this back.
Just between those two runs, about 100 yards of sprints there. Thankful the field's on the other side more likely, or the ball is, that is. Get a chance to recover for a moment for that next run.
Jacqueline. Angelina didn't realize she had a U.S. player coming in behind her. As Holmes gets it back for Dole. Mason. Too far ahead of the V8s on the far side, and Brazil will carry it forward in the 43rd minute. Stouty will come back to get it. The two-time All-American who was a member of the U17 World Cup squad. Getting her third cap at the U20 level tonight. Scrotenboer. Mason. Inside for Wheeler. Oh, first touch. Put her into a little bit of trouble. It's a lot of trouble. It's 3. Jacqueline was waiting to pounce and was never going to miss from there. She's at the brace, and Brazil are in the driver's seat on the verge of halftime.
Well, that's the one you want to have back, and particularly in close time before the half, with only a minute or so plus stoppage time remaining. But certainly that is one that you can see the U.S. team is huddling up. Make sure they regroup from this. That's a giveaway in your own third, and it's just one of those that you cannot afford to make another look at it here. Marcus, just into this point, ball popped up, and then don't know if she just got caught in misstep, but it was a perfect through ball. Unfortunately, it's the wrong way.
That was just the first touch, putting Wheeler into trouble. Jacqueline, ever the predator, says thank you very much. Oh, chance for the U.S. here as this one fizzed across. Rodman just missed it at the far post.
Another opportunity is Jarrett over on the far side. We've seen 2 good runs, both by Rodman and Jarrett today. Both of these players have created some danger, and I think it'll be interesting in the second half, having that advantage of the wind behind you in order to do that, as we have 2 stoppage minutes.
So 2 minutes for the USA to see if they can pull one back and give themselves a lifeline heading into the final 45 minutes. The USA have had periods of possession. They have attacked, but it's been a few moments of Brazilian magic and one U.S. mistake, which has Brazil ahead 3-0, and the U.S. so close to getting one back there. Jarrett's ball across was a dangerous one. Rodman just couldn't quite get a boot on it. Too far from Molina. Holmes is throwing. Rodman. 17-year-old flies forward. Steps inside of Victoria Reis, but she's met. Able to get it off, though. Nice Swanger couldn't bulldoze her way through. Credit to Brazil. They get 3 or 4 players around the ball. It makes it very hard, but if you can find the outlet, that means 2 or 3 players are going to be open for you. It was excellent tracking back from Spanstra to win this for the U.S. Scrotenboer. They're going to have to hurry if they want to get one more attack in before referee Samantha Martinez's whistle goes for halftime. Brazil making sure that they can't do that, and they will end the half with a 3-0 lead over the U.S. Thoughts on the first 45 minutes, Mike Pepper?
Well, you go back to the opportunity, 0-0. They go down, and a great save by Nick Lee. Maybe he could have done a little bit better. Does that change the whole attitude of it? But you can't let those last 20 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes affect you greatly. You have to worry about it here. You do have the wind. Strategy's going to change up a little bit. And again, you don't want to harp on the weather too much because it goes through, but I think it is, and in particular on that last goal, a significant factor. See if the U.S. can turn that to their favor in the second half.
So plenty for Mark Carr to ponder at halftime, but there are 45 more minutes left for the U.S. to set things right. At the break, it's Brazil 3, USA 0. We'll be back with you for the second half on U.S. Soccer. Welcome back to the U20 Women's Nike International Friendlies. USA Blue trailing Brazil 3-0 as we get ready to start this second half. Mark Serber alongside Mike Pepper, and Mike, Brazil in the driver's seat,
yeah.
But USA and Brazil have played some epic instant classics, and the USA by no means out of it.
No, not at all. And I think that we just look at the weather itself and the advantages going in there. The girls have already played 45 minutes, the women have, and now going into the wind, it's more of a challenge in the U.S. We've seen with Jarrett and with Rodman just utilizing that speed down the wings. Could be a bit of a challenge. You don't want to send it too long, but that will give them plenty of opportunity here in this half.
Jacqueline, at the bottom of your screen, has 2 goals for Brazil as the second half is underway. Well, if you were Mark Carr, what were you telling your side at halftime?
Well, you just have to regroup. You know, I mean, it's something you came into this and you gave up 3 quick ones at the end. So just go back out one at a time. That's all you can do.
Well, it was a great run by Mason to start this. Player goes down in the box. And the referee not at all interested, but it will be a corner kick for the U.S., their 4th of the game. Great determined run, though, from the outside back. That's exactly the kind of aggression that the USA need to get this half off on the right foot. The corner swung in and nipped away at the back post. Spanstra battling for it. And coming across to help out is Holmes.
That's a great run out by Brazil in that case, just getting it down the field. You knew that along the sideline with 3 bodies, just get it up, earn the throw, allow the rest of your team to join you.
Excellent work by Melina. Melina has 4 players to pick out in the box. Sends it across and pushed away. Another dangerous opportunity, and the keeper grabs it.
Well, it'd been interesting if even challenging for it by Melina, only because she was in the net, coming back into play.
It was good work by Melina. She measured up for the cross, was able to whip it around Holmes, and then Dole getting a very important touch because Victoria Yaya was on the doorstep.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Scrotenboer being forced back. And this will be a throw in for Emily Mason, a 17-year-old who plays for PDA. Mason getting her first U20 cap this evening. She's looking for Yates. Still might work out for her. Has Niswanger running inside. She tried to find her. And the long ball looking for the run of Marta. Her 37th minute strike sandwiched by a brace from Jacqueline in the first half. Jacqueline in the 28th. Off a beautifully rehearsed corner kick routine. Then Marta in the 37th, and Jacqueline a minute before halftime. Played up, left off for Yates. What a hit! And the USA have pulled one back. Sunbird Yates with an absolute thunderbolt, and there is life in USA yet.
Well, Brazil's asking for something. It doesn't appear they're going to get it, but right now they're asking to talk to the linesman. But here's another look at that. As it came in there, you talk about a rocket, and that was a perfect layoff. And as Yates' first time, it was phenomenal on the shot. And it was a great finish into there. And again, that's where that wind comes into play. It may not be recognizable, but when you have a 15-mile-per-hour wind at your back, that shot coming in at 60 to 65 is all of a sudden 65-70. Nicole Lee not able to get up in time. And those small little things turn into big things. And as we said, one goal at a time. You can't get a three-point goal in soccer. You got the first one, and let's see what that momentum can do now.
You could in the old days of indoor soccer if you were behind that blue line. I think the rules here are a little bit different, though. But is the comeback on for the U.S.?
I think when FIFA agrees to that, I will probably keel over.
It's Rodman. She was the catalyst for the first goal. Looking to fashion another one here, but this cut off at the near post. Well, what a response from Mark Carr's side to start this second half, and they have a spring in their step. Rodman unable to spin. Yates chasing, winning the throw-in. Loose ball picked off. Nice Wonger. That almost worked out for Yates. Holmes. Outside for Melina. Ball skipped into the feet of Rodman. She's looking to run, turns a defender, and flashes her shot just wide of the far post. Oh, Trinity Rodman looking very dangerous early in the second half. I think she's been instructed to have a go at these defenders.
Yeah, and that's the rule. You get out there, you have one defender on you as well. The white people, you go at them. You force them to make a decision. We saw the help coming in, but just that little step inside and then out allowed her that opportunity. It was a great shot. I have no issue with the shot, and I think that certainly you want to go, do you put it in front of the face of the net or what she did, but you love the effort.
Premature slide. And the free kick won by Skrotenboer. Well, the play along this right-hand side for USA from Emily Mason and Trinity Rodman have sparked this team back into life. Still 2 more goals to pull back, and they have to be careful here. Marta dancing on the ball. She's hounded by Wheeler, and it forces the turnover through Jarrett. Rodman screaming for it. Jarrett still going. Now she pokes it along for Rodman. She clips it for Jarrett. And Nico Lee gets there first. More room to operate. This one squeezed in. The U.S. have a second. Nice Wonger picking out the far post. And it's game on once again in Lakewood Ranch.
A phenomenal finish there as the American Outlaws celebrate that with the crowd as well. And you can see where the United States had their own huddle after the third goal they gave up. Brazil doing the same thing now as these fans enjoy it. But it was a fantastic time as you see the U.S. women's head coach getting his enjoyment out of this one as well.
Vlatko Andonovski all smiles as this ball threaded through for Niswanger, hitting it first time. And the U.S. have new life
And again, Mark, you know, I mean, it's so simplistic when you talk about the weather and a wind, but you're in an open field. It's not a stadium. This ball's going to carry a little bit more. It's going to just drift, and it's not so much it's there. It's a little subtle changes, and you can see Brazil finding themselves on the short end of a ball or two, and now you got to figure their confidence is a little bit waned because there's 10 minutes in the second half, and their 3-goal lead is now turned into 1.
2 goals in the space of 5 minutes for the U.S. Concerned looks on the faces of the Brazilian coaches. Jacqueline plays it across. That one was cut out by Scrotenboer.
If you're the U.S., you also just have to take it there. You know the momentum's there, but don't go too far forward. You got plenty of time. Make sure you don't give anything up on the other end.
Jacqueline steps inside of Mason, who brings her down. And the referee says it's just going to be a throw-in. Oh, this is such an awesome atmosphere, and certainly now the game that this kind of atmosphere demands, but you not only have the senior side who are in their camp over on our side, but over on the far side, all the different DA girls are getting together to cheer on the U.S. regardless of the club that they represent.
Well, and it is. I mean, these U.S. national team certainly brings a lot of pride to everyone, and the success that the U.S. has had at every individual level certainly recognized too by these young ladies.
Third corner kick of the game for Brazil. This one driven in, the header! Brazil have doubled their lead. You can't draw it up any better than that, Mike Pepper.
No, and really, I mean, that's what you have to worry about. You've seen 2 corner kicks, 2 balls, 2 goals conceded from 2 different corners. That one on the near post run, and it's just you're not to the ball quicker. They obviously set that up, and the good news is, I mean, you're still looking at the U.S. in 10 minutes. You cut that deficit. You know you're going to get opportunities, but you don't want to have to keep running uphill.
As Duda, the forward from Cruzeiro, with the finish. Just 2 minutes after the U.S. had pulled it back to 3-2, Brazil once again have a 2-goal cushion. What a start to this second half. If you're the neutral, you're loving this.
Last week with the boys Winter Cup going on, we had a 6-4 game, and it was a enjoyment. Not nearly the atmosphere with it being national teams, but certainly an exciting one at that. And right now, this one's shaping up to be a great one as well.
Spanstra was trying to thread it through. A good job from Lauren to come over to make the clearance. Maria E. Sampaio, but she goes by Duda with the goal. It was a commanding header as she rose higher than all comers to smash it home. While looking for Rodman, chases it down in the corner.
She'll earn the corner.
5th of the game for the U.S. Can they give Brazil a taste of their own medicine? Rodman has been a real live wire in this second half.
A little pushing and shoving going on in the 6.
You can see the referee coming in and telling everyone to cut it out. Over to the back post. I think the wind caught that one.
Held it up a little bit, but just curled it away over the line before anything can go on as we see a substitution. Jacqueline will come off.
Oh, this is going to be the U.S. So
my fault.
Astrid Wheeler who's going to leave us, and coming on is Talia Della Peruta for her first cap at the U20 level. Della Peruta currently playing on a development contract for FC Cologne. She is committed to UNC, so she's on that development contract so that she can keep her eligibility. But you know, we were talking to Mark Carr, and she said that Della Peruta said, you know, I really want to be a part of the national team for years to come. What's the best thing for me that's going to get me there? And she thought it was to go over to Germany. And even though she's on that developmental contract, she trains with the professional team every day and has worked her way into this camp.
Yeah, I loved her commitment to improving her game.
Melina, still going Melina. She goes down. And once again, all shouts for a penalty fall on the deaf ears of Samantha Martinez.
And Samantha Martinez in an excellent position there. You know, it goes back to so many times you've seen the Brazilian players go down rather easily, not just in that, but in this game. We've seen 3 or 4 times that nothing awarded. At some point, maybe the yellow card needs to come out if Samantha Martinez feels that there is no foul committed at that point. It may eliminate some of what she is, some of what is going on, at least in her eyes, since no foul was awarded.
Victoria Yaya, Jacqueline, who's on a hat trick. She sends it to the far post. This one easy for Dole. Diana Ordonez is getting set to come on for the U.S. I believe she'll replace one of the front 3. Wait to see who that is. Mason. Well dealt with by Stouty. And she finds the outlet ball. First involvement for Della Peruta. Out wide for Jarrett. The offside flag is up. And now here comes the change, as it is going to be Jarrett who comes off.
So I think it's Yates.
Oh, Yates is sprinting over. I thought it was a 17 up on the board, but we do have a 10 blocking our view, so beg your pardon. But it is Yates who, if the U.S. can come back, it was her thunderous strike that got the U.S. back into this one.
And I would think that what we've seen, Mark, is that the trouble on the wings created by both Rodman and Jarrett. Now, obviously, those wingers and those runs will wear upon them, but that's where the U.S. has really been dangerous against Brazil.
And now Brazil preparing their first change of the evening, as it's the captain, Angelina, who's going to come off. Had the assist on Brazil's first goal. And she's going to be replaced by Miriam. So off comes Angelina, and on comes the 17-year-old Miriam, who plays her club ball with Sao Paulo in Brazil. And Mason with the throw-in for the U.S. Scrotenboer will roll it along for Stouty. Tried to clip it over to the Holmes on the far side, but it's intercepted. Holmes was well stationed. Away by Stouty. Spanstra. She pirouettes out of the pressure, and the break could be on here for the U.S. They're running 3 against 5, but they will get the free kick. Oh, they're trying to take it quickly. So great turn and run by Della Peruta, right at the heart of the Brazilian defense. And the only way to stop her was illegally on this occasion.
Quite clearly getting that leg in. Della Peruta tried to jump over that. Peruta tried to jump over that, but just got clipped.
So it's Niswanger who's over it. Plays her college ball with Florida State. And just drives it into the danger area. Pops out for Holmes. She showed too much of it as Marta comes away with it. Now the referee coming over to have a word with the Brazilian player, telling her to hurry up and get on with it. The little under 25 minutes left is still a bit too long before you can start time wasting.
That is a little long.
It's the fourth official having a word with Mark Carr. Well, he has to be happy with the response from his side. Whatever he said at halftime is working, Mark Carr. Still will definitely want to clean up dealing with those free kicks, especially the corners.
Yeah, you don't like giving up the set pieces, that's for sure.
Della Peruta ran into Camila, and she won it back. Niswanger sprays it over to the far side for Holmes. Out wide for Jarrett. Does well to ride the challenge into Niswanger. Stouty. Holmes. Niswanger. Up top. Oh, nifty flick out wide. Ball played in. Della Peruta. Mason lofts it in, and Nicoli plucks it out of the air. Oh, it's great build-up play from the U.S. Just need a better ball served in.
Final service was a little, left a lot to be desired, but they'll get another chance here as this one will go off Brazil.
Rodman will leave this one off for Mason. Into the feet of Niswanger. Intercepted by Merriam. The substitute fly forward. Leaves it off for Marta, scorer of Brazil's second goal. Marta leaves it off for Merriam, wants it back.
Have an injured Brazil player who just went down. I don't think there was any contact.
Oh, those are the worst kind of injuries. So you hope that she's okay right at the top of the U.S. box. And the referee right away calling on the training staff. I think it's just a cramp.
I think you're right on the cramp.
For Milene. Well, you're relieved to see it be just a cramp, because when a player goes down without any contact, the first thought is it's either a muscle injury or possibly something worse.
Or something worse, yeah.
You never want to speculate, but hopefully that's all it is.
You know, the funny thing is, and I don't know how funny it is, but we say, oh, thank goodness it's just a cramp. But if you've ever had a cramp, boy, it's not something you like. As you see getting stretched right now is Jarrett.
I love when Jarrett gets the ball and has the opportunity to take on defenders. As you can see, Rodman talking with Della Peruta.
I think they will be making a sub here for Milena.
And it's going to be Eduarda, who's going to come in.
I believe that's, well, they may actually make multiple subs. I don't know if Eduarda was set for Mylena or not. So it does appear to be a second sub coming in now as well, and I think that will be Lauren.
A couple U.S. players running over to get some water. Well, the one thing this does add is there's going to be some significant stoppage time now at the end of this one, Pepper. If the U.S. can pull one back, set up a really nervy finale, who knows what we're going to see in stoppage time.
Yeah, well, we'll see a stretcher right now, obviously, and you know, you say just a cramp, but she is sitting up, and it's just one of those things. Sometimes they so overpower you that you know you can't get that. I think my first cramp ever, I realized how significant they were when I was stupid. It was a 2-a-day soccer practice, and in between those 2-a-days, I jumped in the pool at there, a 4-foot. Thank goodness it's only a 4-foot pool, because it took me about 45 minutes to get out of that thing because I was cramping up the whole way.
Good look at Natalia Stouty. Had 22 games played and 2 assists her freshman year at UVA. The DA players have been in full voice. As here comes the subs for Brazil. It's going to be Edudimila who comes on to replace Melina. Also coming off is Duda. Score of the fourth goal on that towering header.
And I believe that's who Eduarda went on for.
So Eduarda and Edudimila on for Brazil. Edudimila plays for Grêmio in Minas Gerais. This is the second time that she's been called into camp. Her first call-up was in October for Brazil.
Entering the game, number 13, Edudimila. Leaving the game, number 19, Milena.
Edudimila, somebody who loves to fly into challenges. We saw her send a French player flying through the air with a crunching tackle in midfield. So certainly a player to add some bite to this Brazilian midfield and try and close things down in the center of the park. Rodman. Chipping it toward the penalty spot. Bumped off the ball, but wins it back. Oh, I thought that was a fair challenge.
As I did too.
It's won by Jacqueline. Camilla's free kick. Forward for Ordonez to chase. How about that for a piece of skill from Victoria Yaya? Ordonez. Her pressure does enough to win the throw-in for the U.S. Ordonez. Still battling, finally crowded out. Mason gets past Marta. Back for Stouty. She'll drive it over for Holmes on the far side. Good work along the back line for the U.S. Oh, and another challenge that the U.S. thought was a good one.
Not sure what the referee is seeing on those last 2 challenges.
I thought it was a good tackle from Mason.
I think in both cases it was no leg lifted, no cleats up, nothing. It was just kind of get your body in front of it and won the ball. But we're not the ones with the whistle.
Rodman. Fizzes it across. Ordonez! Oh, so close.
Deflected.
Della Peruta has certainly changed the complexion of this game since coming on. Her driving runs through midfield causing real problems, and Rodman has put in some excellent balls from the flank. So this one lofting, and yeah, that's definitely the win.
That was the win. You can see it's floated in, not driven. You had to drive it into that win, but I think onto that shot, it was a great defensive recovery by Brazil. Because I think when you mentioned Ordonez, she had that side netting all set up, but for the deflection that sent it out for the corner.
How about this from Diana Ordonez, beg your pardon. 15 goals and 4 assists in 19 appearances in her freshman season at UVA. And now an opportunity could be on here. So there's that deflection, and Nico Lee had no chance if that ball was going in. This time the referee says no foul. Played behind Marta, still able to get a touch. Victoria Yaya. Della Peruta shimmies past one. Has Ordonez at the top of the box, plays it into her. And cleared away by Lauren. Well, that's got to be a handball, right?
Looks to be a handball for sure. Yaya is back down behind the ball.
Another stoppage in the 77th minute. Rodman almost single-handedly at the beginning pulling this United States team back into the contest.
She's having cramp issues as well. You know, the humidity, we talked about it in the earlier game as well. The humidity has been so much, this front that has moved through has dried it off significantly, but still it was very high to begin with. So while the temperatures cooled down, probably is hidden a little bit about what the body is going through as far as cramping and what you need in order to not have it. I don't know if that's Yaya's case or not. It does appear that they are trying to rub out a calf as well, but that's what we see with Rodman, kind of getting the same thing, a little stretching on that calf.
It looked like Tycian and Carmel were receiving final instructions from the Brazilian coaching staff, so you might see another double change.
And they are going to the table now. Yaya is up, but it may not be long for it without the cramping issues.
The U.S. coaching staff passing along instructions. They have to be proud with the heart and the desire and the fight and grit of their U.S. team in this second half.
Certainly, and that's when you see these young ladies, you don't necessarily think that, but if you did have a reason to question it, I think they answered that. You know, certainly the technical things on the dead balls that they conceded, the mistake back there, but they have bounced back very strongly from that.
Oh, better to concede them now than in February.
100% correct.
U.S. will be looking to win their 6th U20 CONCACAF championship title. Finished second in 2018, but did go through as the top 3 teams go through to the U20 World Cup. Well, the thing is, you can talk about the history and the stats, but every single time it's pretty much a new team, save for 1 or 2 players who came into the cycle early.
That is correct in those cycles, you're right.
That ball asking too much of Holmes on the far side. And now Marta's number is up. And so here comes Tycian.
Substitutions in the 80th minute for Brazil.
Jacqueline also coming off. So her 2-goal night is done.
Leaving the game, number 9,
And Carmel
number 15,
is a sophomore at the University of North Florida.
11, Jacqueline.
Actually grew up here playing her club ball for the Jacksonville Armada. So she's on for her second appearance of these Nike International Friendlies after appearing as a late sub against France. Scrotenboer, the reigning U18-19 Development Academy Player of the Year, sends it long. And it skips past Rodman.
Well, this is an excellent chance here to pinch in. You are into the corner. Obviously, the throw going just a yard or two inside the corner flag. You don't want to let him out.
Final 10 minutes, but you'd have to think, Pepper, that there's going to be some significant stoppage time.
I think you're right. We've seen cramps, stretchers off. We've seen probably a good 4 or 5 minutes. You'd like to see the U.S. get one back here in the next 5 minutes to really set up that final 5 minutes in stoppage time, but we'll see what they can muster up here.
Played in. Scrotenboer. Mason shapes up out wide. Rodman. Well, she's in the mood to put on a few party tricks. But Brazil do well not to fall for it, and Scrotenboer gets it over to Stouty. The 2-time All-American is going to bring this one over for Mason. Rodman. Into the corner. And well shielded out of bounds for a Brazil throw. You know, maybe it is under the threshold to have a hydration break, Mike, but at the same time, you have to think with the cramps and the humidity that you might have the hydration break just for that. So you always wonder what's going through the mind of a coach when he's watching a game such as this.
You'd think the temperature changing at that point, but you know, it happens at every level. It's just something sometimes on the learning process, and until you actually experience them to realize that I need to better prepare for that.
Ordonez. She was the Development Academy Player of the Year in 2017-18. Oh, good win by Neiswanger. So Ordonez thrown to the ground. Neiswanger continuing to battle. That's got to be some sort of dangerous play, but Neiswanger somehow comes away with it. This is a good run. But Brazil able to scramble it clear. 84th minute. The Stouty is back to mop up for the U.S. Launched into the box. Cleared away by Camilla. Brazil haven't really had too many opportunities to go forward in the last 10 minutes. Now stringing some passes together. Tycian with her first real involvement of the game. Tycian. And Scrotenboer shuts the door. Emily Mason. Rodman unable to keep it in, despite the effort. Well, we've seen some good shots of Vlatko Andonovski in the crowd tonight, Mike. Do you think anyone on this U.S. side has caught his eye this evening?
Well, I think the runs that both Jarrett and Rodman have made certainly been a big part of it. I think when you look at the first 30 minutes, the control that they were able to do, certainly some eyes in the midfield would be something. But, you know, when you look at the speed, and of course the women's team has the speed already as it is, but here's someone who wants to see, particularly with the youth. You mentioned Rodman and her age, as a yellow card is issued here. Something that would certainly want to watch that progress of her.
So yellow card issued to Gisele for time wasting. We waited 85 minutes for the first yellow card. And there's been some tasty challenges in this game. But the referee, Samantha Martinez, has certainly let them play.
And some dramatics.
So this will be a free kick for Gisele. What an opportunity for Brazil, so close to sealing the game.
Yeah, that would have been pretty much as Yaya had a chance, and something that fell to her on the volley, just missed the top corner.
Good passing from the U.S. Here's a look at that opportunity. Miriam winning it. Oh, and at the other end, keeper's well out. She punched it away. The U.S. player went down heavily under a challenge. The referee says play on once again. Tycian unable to hold it up for Brazil. And Mason thumps it forward. You still feel the scoring's not done yet in this game, Mike?
It has slowed down, but I do think the pushing forward will be something that the U.S. could be in line for. If they don't, then they are probably pushing forward. So I would agree with you, Mark.
Della Peruta slides it out wide. Flag stays down. Ball pumped in.
And the 2019 Nike International Friendlies saw a little drama in the boys division in the 17s as they were trailing 3-1 in stoppage time were the 16 men, and they ended up tying the Netherlands with 2 stoppage time goals. So we have seen it down here at Lakewood Ranch here in the last month.
This one blocked at the top of the box. Victoria Yaya that offered Tycian. Got it forward. Ball back to the feet of Tycian. Victoria Yaya. And Gisele unable to track it down on the near side. Good look at Brazil's coach, Jonas Urias dos Santos. As the referee is going to wave play on. Good work by Camila not to allow Rodman around her. He's just 30 years old.
Yeah.
I said to him, I said, you are so young, and yet you're the under-20 coach. And he said, yes, but I've been working for 9 years. He said, I developed in some great places with some great people, especially really thinks fondly on his time with Sport Recife. And he said, you know, I just love women's soccer, and I love working with this group and learning every single day. So, you know, he's really primed to try and work his way up to the very top.
Make me feel old. I was a sophomore in college when he was born.
Yaya, Carmela. And the shot fizzed in at the near post. Dole had it covered all the way. So we're in the final minute and a half of the 90. Plus what, if we're going to start to place bets, I would say 5 minutes of stoppage time.
I'm going to say 6, but we'll see, just because of the excessive. We've seen the yellow card issued for time wasting already. We saw 3 times stopped in the second half for cramping.
This one played across. Niswanger gets there before Carmela. Still battling. This might fall for Rodman. Looking to run. Creates the half yard of space. Sips it in! And Nicole Lee got a very important touch. Jarrett. Rodman. She's going to set herself up and try and measure another cross, but Carmela got a foot in. And now Brazil taking it to their own corner. Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
It is a corner, and it will be a Brazil throw-in. Look at this. Quick wiggle of the hips to create that yard of space. And then driven across right into the danger area. As we are now into stoppage time, the board goes up with 6 minutes, so Pepper wins.
I got lucky. Sometimes. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes.
Rodman. Reverse ball in. Beautifully done from the U.S. Mason hoisted to the back post. The header! Cleared off the line. Scrotenboer. Holmes. Still battling Holmes. Credit Brazil for the way that they have closed down the U.S. players tonight.
Yeah, and in particular, you look at the U.S. early in the second half, getting the 2 goals in the first 8-9 minutes of the second half, and Brazil held firm from that point.
Driven into the feet of Della Peruta. She scoops it over the top, looking for the run of Ordonez, but it falls into the breadbasket of Nico Lee. Carmela. Spanstra. Over for Rodman. Skips past her.
That is the one thing we've talked about, some of the rule changes earlier in the game and all this stuff. I know that 6 seconds for a goalkeeper. As a former goalkeeper, I'd like to see the referee start that clock right away. When they go to ground, that's somewhat annoying at that point in time. At 6 seconds, drop it down. It's an indirect kick the other way.
Yeah, it's annoying when it's not your team.
That's true.
Knowing you as a goalkeeper, you did that a lot.
No, actually,
you had
I did not.
1-0 leads.
I actually did not. I had a heck of a drop kick, and I just send it down right on the breakaway.
Free kick for Neiswanger.
There's no doubt. I remember them even though they were 30 years ago.
She's going to tease this one into the danger area. Oh, it's a good ball in. First header won by Brazil. Second ball by Nico Lee. And Camila is down, grabbing her head, so the referee rightly stopping play right away for a head injury. As she's saying, I just need a minute, don't call on the training staff. And you can see the Brazilian players waving them back off.
It's maybe a case of 6 turning to 9.
So the ball in, and it was won by Camila, who clashed heads with Lauren. And then Nicoli climbed the ladder highest.
That was her own player. At that point, they collided heads.
That's going to be a pretty sweet selfie. I'll give that to them. I usually don't like selfies and selfie sticks, but that's pretty cool. A real credit to the Development Academy players for coming out and supporting tonight, and I hope that they saw a few things that they're going to want to implement in their game as well.
Great matchup, and they'll see 2 more great matchups on Friday.
And we will have 2 girls DA Cup games tomorrow. I believe 11:15 and 3:30 are the times of those matchups.
11:10, I believe.
11:10.
Yes. Don't be late.
Camila's back on. Mason. And Camila looks to be all right as she leaves it off in midfield. The space has opened up. Tycian holds her run. She's going to track it down and keep it in. and just take it to the corner. It'll be a goal kick for the U.S. Excellent job coming back to help out Emily Mason by Trinity Rodman. Spanstra. Out wide for Holmes. Early cross in. Oh, and the referee is going to point to the spot. Della Peruzza brought down by Camila, who can't believe it.
Well, the referee had a pretty good angle on that one. We saw it from up here, but she saw it straight on. It appeared that player went straight through.
It's a good early ball in from Holmes. And there it is. Yeah, definitely crashed right into her.
Shoulder into the right between the shoulder blades. So I don't know what she's asking for. That one's. If you're a referee and you're given a penalty and stoppage time, those are the kind you like, because there's no doubt about it.
And it's Niswanger who's going to take it. Number 2, looking for goal 2 on the evening. It's Jenna Niswanger versus Nicoli.
Really see the wind whipping around there.
We've played the minimum 6 minutes of stoppage time.
And we're playing 9 tonight.
Making sure that everybody is outside the box. A long time for both taker and keeper to think about it. Niswanger. Nicoli saves. Denies us of a possible 7-goal thriller. Niswanger got the placement, but didn't get the power. And the cross drifts out for a Brazil goal kick.
Actually, Mark, I do think that it was one of those gift-wrapped saves for a goalkeeper, about a yard off the ground and only about 2 yards to one side. I don't think it was in towards the corner, and I think it's unfortunate here to save maybe something all the way here at the end.
Unfortunate for Niswanger. And that will do it. Brazil win a 6-goal thriller, but huge credit to the U.S., who looked dead and buried, down 3-0 at halftime, pulled it back to 3-2, but then a thumping header from Duda gave Brazil the 4-2 victory. Final thoughts, Mike Pepper.
Well, I think the difference right there is set pieces. You gave them up on 2 corners. You gave one on, and you got to give credit to Brazil. The finish by Jacqueline was fantastic. The second one, a strong header from about 6 yards out right there. But you have to compete on those, and sometimes in that learning process, those are the things you got to do. Know your assignments, know what's there, and unfortunately, it did not happen tonight.
Well, both of these teams will get a day off, and then when we come back on Friday, Brazil will face off against United States Red at 6:30, and this United States Blue side will play France at 6:30. That will do it for Mike Pepper. I'm Mark Serber saying good night from the Lakewood Ranch Sports Campus, where it finishes Brazil 4, United States 2.